Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. A couple days ago, Fantasy Flight announced on Twitter that there would be a Holocron update coming soon. Today we actually got that update. It only hits two cards. There was a lot of speculation as to what cards might be um, in the Holocron, maybe characters that are getting point adjustments and things like that. We don't have any point adjustments, so Ayla right now, that was the one that was being speculated mostly, is still at her original point value. No updates to that. So this update only hits two cards. So we have Maul's Lightsaber and Running Interference. This is a screenshot from the standard PDF for the standard format. Um, they also did one for Trilogy as well, so a Holocron on the Trilogy format. I'm just showing the standard one because it has both cards on one document basically. So Maul's Lightsaber and Running Interference on the Trilogy format. Running Interference isn't changed because Empire at War is not part of Trilogy. Anyway, so Maul's Lightsaber should now read blue character only, power action. If an opponent has no shields on all their characters, spend one resource to roll this die into your pool. Used to just be if they didn't have any shields on, you would get to roll the die back in. Now it's going to cost a resource, so it's maybe potentially going to be slowed down a little bit, and your opponents are basically going to have to be a little bit more careful about their resources. So if they don't have any resources, they won't be able to roll the lightsaber in for a second time. So it'll slow it down a little bit. I think this is probably a good change. I don't think increasing the points or the cost of the saber itself. Some people were speculating it be a four cost upgrade and maybe then have a resource costed power action. I'm glad we're just getting the resource costed power action instead of um, a, a resource increase as well as this resource cost to use the power action. So Maul Saber's been changed. Running Interference is also being changed. So it said it should now read after you take an action, you may set this support aside to choose an opponent. That opponent cannot take the same action that you took on their next turn. So essentially, it does the exact same thing, but now instead of just exhausting it, you use it and it gets put in the set aside zone to where you won't be able to get it back with any way to. It doesn't go to your discard pile, so you can't possibly return it to play. So at most, you're going to get two uses out of Running Interference. It's going to be very strong in with Sabine, so she can still play an ambush weapon on her, roll her out, use that ambush action to play a card like Never Tell Me the Odds. You exhaust Running Interference. Your opponent isn't able to then mitigate. So you're still able to do that up to two times in a game. And even with Sabine, that's still huge. That's still a potential for a ton of damage. But it just means that every round you're not going to be able to, exhaust multiple running interferences to use them twice, and then the next round do it all over again. You're going to use it, get set aside, and then you won't be able to get it back. I think this is a really good change. Running interference, even before people were using it with Never Tell Me the Odds, was pretty oppressive as you can basically lock players out, and it basically incurred Fantasy Flight to make a rule change that you could discard to roll um, zero dice, so you weren't basically locked out of an entire round by the running interference combo. And then when people started coupling it with Never Tell Me the Odds to make it so you couldn't mitigate dice at all, like let's say Sabine had rolled out 9 damage between her and her weapons, they exhaust running interference, and then if they had played Never Tell Me the Odds, they can also just fix their dice. So then you wouldn't be able to mitigate those cards with like Electroshock or a card that removes dice, such as block, dodge, defend, dive, or anything like that. And then you would just know on your next turn, your next turn, they're just going to deal a massive amount of damage to you. Again, this lets them do that twice, but I think this is a good change. Again, they didn't do any kind of point increases for like Ayla or anything like that. Maybe Fantasy Flight is just waiting to see what happens at Worlds before they adjust her. I still am in agreement with a lot of players that just think for what she does, her points are just too low. So you can still pair her with a lot of other characters, even at Elite, and still have room for plots. So I think like a 1 or 2 point increase on her will maybe happen at some point. We'll probably, again, maybe they're waiting until after Worlds to see if she's like in the top decks or something like that. But that is the Holocron update. We just got updates to Maul's Lightsaber, which now costs a resource to use the power action, and running interference, which now gets set aside after you use it. That's going to do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again with more Destiny videos. I want to thank you for watching, and take care.